The Doctor Who Alhambra Podcast. Real Doctor Who fans with real Doctor Who opinions.
Hello and welcome back, fellow Whovians, to another exciting episode of the Doctor Who Podcast. I'm your host, Brett, and today we have a fantastic episode lined up for you. We'll start off by diving into a comparison of Big Finish's new and old app, exploring their features, usability, and what this means for dedicated Doctor Who and Big Finish fans. But that is not all. We have some thrilling news from the Big Finish podcast. Yes, our very own Liam, co-host of the podcast, had his letter read out on the latest Big Finish podcast episode. So we'll be discussing his thoughts reacting to this special moment. So grab your sonic screwdrivers, straighten your bow tie, make sure that fez is, properly placed on your head, and let's get started on this podcast. All right. Well, I'm very excited. I know we talked about not really letting certain things die, but when I scanned the Big Finish website, I could not contain my joy and excitement for seeing that Liam had his letter read, which I think is super important. I only read the transcripts. I was, scrolling ahead through the Big Finish, or not Big Finish, through the Apple Podcast transcripts just to see if they were going to talk about anything important. And when I saw Liam's name on the transcript, I was just like, well, we had put this to bed, but this does need to be brought up. But I'm going to get into and discussing my review, I guess you could say, and I probably should have this as a YouTube video. Maybe I should do that a little bit later rather than just an audio podcast. But I'm going to give my review and compare and contrast the differences between the both apps. So what part of me kind of doesn't like this because I just, I put this to bed and was going to, get to this months down the road when certain things had settled. But I do feel as though it is topical currently, the evergreen material, I guess you could suppose. But or just historical significance remembering when, from years later. Anyway, that's being said, I think on surface, most of the functionality between the new app and the old app are, I'm only saying this from the perspective of playing. So I think currently, and I only saw Liam's name on it. As I pull up the app, I do think that there is some major issues still with the, what do I want to say? The filters on the new app. I think the filters are less than perfect. And currently I still am missing I would guess 80 releases from the new Big Finish app compared to the old one and what I currently have on the website. And the interesting thing about that is, and I'm trying to give Big Finish the benefit of the doubt. So I went through the website, used the filters, and did a count of any of the podcasts that I have downloaded. Now, that would be the Toby Hadoke podcast, and the only podcast I've ever downloaded before previously was the previous week's Big Finish podcast. So, and I noticed, at least on my account, that even when I downloaded that on my account, the number of downloads it did increase. So, okay. So there is 24 podcasts that I have. And I'm fine with those not showing up on the new Big Finish website or the new Big Finish app. So out of 897, I have 24. That takes my missing total of audios down to 873. Okay. So then I looked to see how many I had, which were, segments or part ones of something. And I came to the total of 21. Okay. So now at a total of 873 missing. Now I'm down to 852 missing. Now, currently, I still have 813-ish episodes that I have on my new account, meaning that there is still, probably about 20, 30-ish that are missing. And I'm trying to figure out which ones they were. I even went into the short trips and whatnot, and it's not, all of the short trips that I've purchased or got for the Paul Spraggs Memorial do count and do show up on the new app. So, like I said, there's about 30-ish, purchases that are missing from the new app to the old app. And I would love to figure out what this is. If you have any idea what filter I need to change or look after, please email the show at alhambraaudio@gmail.com. Tweet the show at Alhambra Podcast. DMs are open. I'd love to hear from you, and because maybe I missed something. I don't have any ebooks. And when did they stop doing the scripts? I loved looking at the audio scripts. Maybe they stopped doing the scripts with the end of the main range of. Well, I mean, I know they do the scripts for the Paul Spraggs Memorial, but I think, somewhere along the line, I think with the end of the main range, they stopped giving scripts, and that's a shame. I really, really appreciate it. The other thing that I find kind of annoying is on the app, they have added for me, I would say, what would that be? 813 plus or minus 836, that would be 23 new purchases, but all of these are pre-orders. I'm kind of annoyed. I like seeing that the pre-orders are there, but I don't think that these should be optionally seen personally, as it gives you a sense of, oh, I want to listen to that. You click on that, and then it gives you the release date, which I like. But again, I can go to the once in future, and it gives me the download setting, and which would make one think that this is currently downloadable until you get the error message, something went wrong. So that's just one part of my annoyance with the new app. The filters not really working and other stuff, but I think that there's we've not yet seen the conclusion to this audio. The other thing that I wanted to point out that I do find, I really wish that and hope that this gets resolved and mentioned soon, is the lack of extras that you can download onto, or connected to each episode. For example, if you go to main range release, what number is that? I just downloaded it. Where is it? I downloaded it on actually both apps. It is Doctor Who main range release. I'm not sure. Anyway, it is the release 1001 Nights. It was released in December 12th. And if you go to connected to this release are a lot of different and various features that you got for being a main range subscriber at that time. And for example, here are the bonus things. And, maybe they're working on getting that done. But I think it's one of those, you know, I'm not sure if this got lost in the weeds. I don't know if the web developer or the app developers missed something. But when you go and look at it in the new app, all you get is the Doctor Who 1001 Nights audio compared to when you go to it in the old app, where you have the special subscriber special, the Night of the Stormcrow, the MP3 version. You have the audiobook version of that. You have the Fourth Doctor Adventures Retrospective. Short trips only connect the MP3 version, the Fourth Doctor Adventures Retrospective Part 2. Then, which I kind of like here, you do have the PDFs for, it's main range release 168. The PDFs for that. You have the extended extras that is connected to, just instead of the standard extras at the very end of the main range, you have the extended extras, and then you have the script for Night of the Stormcrow, and then you have the audiobook version for only connected. And none of that shows up in the new app. Now, we'll give it time, but I think that, when you have a product that I think a lot of people were happier with, and my only concern is, how did so many things get not seen, not noticed, and with holes in them? You'd think you keep the superior product and just make upgrades to the website. I don't know if the website and the app currently do not talk with each other. That'd be an interesting question to figure out or whatnot. But besides missing the extras and extended stuff and the short trips and stuff like that are connected to various titles, I think currently the app, as listening to it just with your headphones and whatnot, I think there is, and I can't go into functionality unlike Liam and Legion, because I don't need any voiceover stuff for this. I've just found that you get the I like that they do have a queue-ish thing so that you can create your own playlist. That is a really neat and good addition. You also have the chapter markers so that you can skip around in the chapters, kind of, sort of, because when I was doing this previously, the chapter markers showed up. Currently, all of the chapter markers on the Death World, which I'm an hour into, have disappeared. I also like, I also like that there is, compared to the old app, you can, that was playing, that you do have a sleep timer that you can set the new app to. I really think that is a good feature. I think some people, I know some people listen to things on, faster speeds. The old app does have, the ×1 speed. No. They do have a sleep timer. It does have the ×2 speed, ×1.5 speed, whatnot, and they do have a sleep timer. So again, I think the old app a little bit more user friendly. I think the finding the chapters is a little bit easier, and currently is actually working compared to the newer app. But I do like that right now it's not perfect. It's usable for me. Again, I can't speak for Liam, Legion, and Humphrey, but it is usable for me. The downside of this app is, I don't generally, I listen to Big Finish audios in my car just about the same amount of time that I listen to it on, going for walks and stuff like that. And currently, the car feature, there is no app on my Apple Play that, shows up whatsoever. So I have to be playing it on my phone, which is good if obviously you should start your, this before you start driving or whatnot. But there is no library. There's no app on the Apple Play. You can't scrub ahead 30 seconds like you can the new app, the old app. The old app does have a app that can be, used on your on your Apple Play, and you can scrub ahead, you can go back, you can find different audios, kind of like you can do a playlist on iTunes and whatnot. So I feel as though currently there is a couple of snafus with the new app when it comes to driving and accessibility. I firmly believe that some of these things will be taken care of. It's just a matter of time. But the interesting thing is why did we take a downgrade and everything? Shouldn't this have already been built into the app? Or was the purpose was to just build an app initially and then over time start adding features? And maybe that's what they were thinking of, but I think that is kind of, personally, I think that's kind of backwards thinking, because I feel as though you should, if you're going to be replacing an app, it should have all the similar functionalities with more, like the whole playlisting. I do like the playlisting for the new app, and I think that's going to be quite interesting, so that you can, and I'd love it if it could be, you can reorganize your playlist depending on either your excitement level or what you currently have in your account. So I think that'd be kind of a good idea. What do you think, Humphrey?
That's excellent.
All right, I agree. So now with let's see, what do you think about that, Legion?
No, I agree with Hump.
All right, well, all right. And Liam, what do you think about that? All right, well, speaking of Liam, just who is the doctor?
The doctor is an alien from another planet far away.
All right, so we got the alien that was from another planet long away. So with that being said, and me fully trolling Liam, he cannot respond. Let's go to a place where he can respond. This is Liam, his letter being read by Nick Briggs on the Big Finish podcast. I think they only read about 3 letters, and Liam's was the last one. And I think some of my complaints actually got, as I was reading the transcript, got brought up. I love the transcript. Thank you, Apple and iTunes, for having a transcript so that I can kind of skim through something that I don't find listenable. So here is Nick Briggs, and I'll come and butt in every so often and reading Liam's letter.
Anyway, warm memories. Anyway, and finally, Liam Kemble Young writes in with thoughts and feelings regarding the website and app issues. This is quite serious. Hi to all at the Big Finish podcast. After listening to the most recent edition, to hear your comments about the issues that I myself and a lot of loyal customers have been facing with the website, I just wanted to say that the issues are still very much present and do not seem to be any further along. Yes, the old website has been rolled back. However, there are issues with the rollback itself. Firstly, mainly the app. People like myself with extensive Big Finish libraries are, in capitals, still not able to access any purchases from the old app, due to apparent load on the servers, load in inverted commas. The old website seems to have login issues now and takes a while to load even on fast connections. Once you hit login, it takes minutes before the site loads your account. Secondly, none of this information has been made publicly available. It is only down to customers like myself and others emailing the customer service team that we have any idea on what is going on. Whilst I appreciated the statements from Jason There has been nothing since from yourselves to keep people in the loop. And all the while, the customer service representatives are inundated with people asking the same questions. Mainly, when will we be able to access other purchases and when will the app be fixed? Again, it's only through the customer services representatives that I know the new app has been mothballed and we should go back to using the old app. I feel that it's unfair that it's been left to the customer services people to convey all this information and nothing more has come from yourselves publicly since. Also, whilst unfortunate, telling us that you still have no time frame for when any of this is going to be fixed is simply not good enough, especially for those who have spent literal thousands over the years to support yourselves and have continued to do so. I feel very let down, as many others do. So to have more concrete information and being kept in the loop going forward, I feel is the least you can do. Plus, not being able to express this on social media, such as in the Big Finish listeners group, I feel slightly...
Oh. I did not know he was going to say that. Oh, my gosh. Oh, Liam, thank you for uh, trashing that group. Oh, that's so funny. Oh, that was oh if nothing else, oh my gosh, that right there being read by Nick Briggs is fantastic. Okay. Whew. All right, let's get back to
unfair. Any negative feedback that was posted in that Facebook group was shut down immediately, and people were told by the admins to go somewhere else to complain. As long as feelings and feedback were posted and balanced and in a fair manner, highlighting the issues and no personal attacks against Big Finish or anyone involved were posted, then what exactly is wrong with being able to express this on a platform that people at Big Finish might see and be able to listen to our feedback?
Sorry, I should have just posted a laughy face emoji for that and just not oh my word, that
I have seen in other groups that people have been able to post feedback with no issues. 99% of people have been courteous when expressing their dissatisfaction with the current state of the website and the app. I hope that this feedback can be taken on board, and I just wanted to clarify that no offense was intended. I just want to bring this to your attention. Thanks, kind regards, Liam Kemble Young. Fair enough, Liam. Thanks for writing in. Last podcast, I read out a statement, and I've been told that there's been some criticism of the fact that I was reading it out.
Well, okay. Yeah. Because there was more feeling in your response to the fan letters than the red statement. I understand you're between a rock and a hard place right now giving information, but the same information was the same stuff that was being shared to by my brain just went dead for a second. What do I want to say? It was the same information that Jason Agilry had. And so there was no new things, and there was more compassion, more feeling, more sympathizing than the pre-read written statement that was read verbatim. That was my only thing. I don't think they should have read it. I think you should have started off with like, well, let's just talk about the elephant in the room. And by talking about the elephant in the room, I got some fan letters or some mail or some angry mail, and then just go from there. I think that would have been probably the better thing to do, and you would have probably been seen as more sympathetic. That's my opinion.
I feel like I can't win here. You know, I want to say the best and right things to you, and I don't think that can be left to me just talking off the cuff. You know, I think you deserve better. I think you deserve.
I don't agree. do the whole thing. Do what you did. And I apologize. It did not mean for this to be part 2 or something like that, but do what you did. And then you can say, read this letter or something like that, or read the letter and then do the fan thing. But to do the red word verbatim, goofy segment of talking about this and that and pocket size people in the email computers or whatnot, and then reading the fan mail, which was all that. Like, I think that was wrong. Read it word for word and then go into mail. I don't know.
A more considered statement from us. And so I've written this down, all right, and I'm reading it out now. This is sadly typical of a lot of emails to the podcast we've received, and we do fully sympathize. I was told last week that everything was working well with the old app. That's what I was told. I'm personally quite cross that this wasn't entirely true. I can only go by what I'm told. I was told that there were a few minor queries and teething problems, but clearly the problem for customers with large libraries in particular of previous purchases was bigger than that. So this week, I've tried my best to obtain more accurate information. So I've been sent a really complicated email full of technical terms, which I've spent a lot of time looking up. I won't read that email to you now because, if you're not already dozing off, you'd certainly be sound asleep by the time you got to the end of that. But distilling it down to its basics, this is what I've gathered. Some customers have understandably wanted to download their entire library to the app all at once. And for those with huge numbers of purchases, this means that tens of thousands of lines of data are being requested from the application programming interface.
Wow. Yeah. I think you don't, your phone must be huge if you're downloading it into the app. I'd be downloading it from the website, but wow, that must be some huge, 2 terabyte phone or something like that.
All at once. Even on the ultra-fast device with ultra-fast internet our developers have been testing this on, these kinds of requests have taken a number of minutes to download. That's far too long, obviously. They estimate that with much slower devices, such as older phones, which so many of us have got, and much slower internet connections, which so many of us have, these requests for such large amounts of data have basically been timing out, which is why nothing happens. We understand why some of you are trying to pull down your entire library at once. It's because your confidence in us has been shaken, I think.
Excellent. That is well stated. Yes. Uh-huh. I don't think people are thinking you're going to go do the audio go mode, but yeah, there's massive confidence. Agreed. Thank you.
You want to make sure it's all there. The best way to check this is to go to your account on the website on a computer. You'll see there that all your purchases are safely in existence. It's just that it's taking too long for them to be transferred to the app en masse. Our advice has been not to try to grab all your releases at once. Maybe just download the one you want to listen to at the moment. There's no real need to have it all there at once, all in one.
I agree. And I'm going to just stop right there because I think, again, I thought I put this to a close, but when I saw Liam featured on there, I think it was something to be talked about and discussed. And yeah, go download, listen to the entirety of the app. I agree. I also think that, we just need to probably, for the meantime, if it's there, listen to it. If not, old-fashioned way, download it to iTunes, put it on the phone that way, sync it like that, the way that we did it before the app existed. So with that being said, thanks for listening and downloading the podcast. I will... hopefully I didn't skip over or miss anything, but I think things are, coming along slowly, slower than most people would like, but they're still coming along. Thanks for downloading and listening. Please subscribe on the the YouTube channel. It's just, comment down below. Comment to us. Email us at alhambraaudio@gmail.com. Tweet the show at Alhambra Podcast. DMs are open. Until next time, we will see you in time.
You have been listening to the Doctor Who Alhambra Podcast. Doctor Who is owned and trademarked by the BBC. Doctor Who Alhambra is not affiliated with the BBC or Big Finish. No infringement is intended. Visit our website at alhambrapodcast.weebly.com or Email the show at alhambraaudio@gmail.com. Tweet us at Alhambra Podcast. That is ALHAMBRA Podcast. Thank you.